In April of 2023, Midjourney had a cap of 10,000 for you to get access to the alpha. But as we can see, February 8th, Midjourney has now opened up the alpha for people who have made at least 1,000 images. It's kind of the similar way you could check yourself if you have or have not gotten 1,000 images. So for doing that, what you do is just go here, click on info, and you should be able to see how many images you've made. Once you have that, then you should be able to access the Midjourney's alpha website. Now, if you have more than 1,000 and if you're able to access, then we're going to go and check the website. Initially, without having 1,000 images, you would have this kind of an option. The Midjourney website is already active, as we can see over here, but you wouldn't be able to click. Now, to be able to access it, alpha.midjourney.com. It looks like the same exact Midjourney website. The only difference that would be is that when you would be in this website, create an image. In the previous website, which is the open website for everybody, you don't actually have it because it's still showing as coming soon. But in the alpha website, which is actually mentioned on the top over here, you can see that this is the direction that they want to go with. Also, as they mentioned in the Discord as well, that this would be side by side with the Discord that we already know. Now, couple of housekeeping things that I just want to show around this Midjourney's alpha, if you want to consider using this. First up, if we go down to the panel over there, you would see there is a community, there's a view help, and there's a light or a dark mode, and then you would have your name. So obviously the light or dark mode would just switch if you want light or dark mode. If you go to view help, it's going to give you different kinds of documentations and the billing help if you need some kind of support. And for community, it's going to just take you to the Discord page. As you can see, it redirected me to the Discord page. Again, a couple of other things I want to also reiterate before I again go back into the housekeeping part is, as mentioned, by typing info, you'll be able to see if you've made 1,000 images. This is more desktop focused. Now that we have seen the community, view help, and the dark mode on the bottom, and this would be your ID, then you have three sections on the top here, which is the explore, where you have communities. This layout is pretty common. The only differentiating factor is that you can now create images on Midjourney with alpha if you have above 1,000 creations. Now this is what we're going to try. Initially in Discord, what you have to do is you would have to click on like imagine, and then you would have to create a prompt. Exactly. However, here Midjourney already has that ready. So you just click on the plus if you want to give an image. We're going to get to that a little bit later on. But for now, what we're going to do is you can click on here, and I'm going to put a very simple imagine. So I'm going to say imagine a cat sitting on a bench. And then before I click on enter or anything, I'm going to actually click on these tabs here. And then this is where you're going to see what we would do initially over here in Discord. So if I were doing a cat sitting on a bench in Discord, I don't get the other preferences, but here the preferences are turned into user interfaces. So you could make it portrait, you could make it a square, you could make it landscape. You could also see that that's not just the only attributes that you have. You can also swivel around and it does change the aspect ratio. 5 by 6, 1 by 1, 6 by 5, 4 by 3. So whatever you want, it goes all the way up to 2:1. And it's all the way to the opposite side, 1:2. So you can see it gives you a whole lot of variations. This would be akin to the AR, the aspect ratio, which we have in Midjourney. For this one, I'm going to stick with a landscape. And then the stylization is again using the --s, which we have used. Again, I would recommend you check out the walkthrough that I did last year I am going to make another updated version for version 6. The user interface is very well put with the increments of 100. So you have stylization 100, 200, etc. And also weirdness, adding 300, 600, multiples like that. And then also the variety. So whether you want to create more variations. For this specific image, I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm just going to have it stylized at 100, weirdness, nothing, and variety is going to be at 10. Again, the mode is going to be raw. So if you want to just have the image as a raw, or do you want to have some kind of extra process to it, then it's going to be standard. And again, you would have different versions. Now again, as also mentioned in the Discord chat and as also mentioned here, since this is a Midjourney alpha, some of the user interfaces, as we can see, because it is on the dark mode or light mode, may be unstable in terms of the, as you can see, the user interface. However, the idea is the same, that you get see all the different versions which we would normally have to use using the settings in Discord. So here I'm going to go with version 6, and here I can do either stealth on or I can do stealth off, but I'm going to do stealth on, and you can do relax, fast, or turbo. I'm going to go for fast. And then once you're done with all that, then I'm going to click on search. Now you see the minute I click there, the image is gone, but it's not going to show up over here. It's going to show up right over there in the create section immediately. So we should just quickly go over there, and you can see that it's actually giving us an information of 0%. While we're already in the discussion, you can see it's live updating it to 1631%. Now this is actually really great. So those who want to still use Midjourney in Discord can still do it, but to have a dedicated place is also really nice. And now once we have our image, the said image of the cat, you can see because I gave a slight bit of a variation, which is also known as chaos. Again, I'm going to be adding more details on the total guide for version 6 in another video. So do feel free to check around the other videos that I've done in the past, and please feel free to subscribe. But for now, you can see that I put the style as raw and the aspect ratio is landscape. So once you see that, again, a very interesting thing with this Midjourney's new alpha website, which is that you can see all the other images as small thumbnails, and you can see my prompt here, a cat sitting on a bench, which is actually a pretty nice image. And all the stylizations that I had done initially with that UI interface is showing up over here. So it's a raw chaos 10 4.3 version 6. Then you have some other options here, which you can see. One is your copy, report, publish. Publish would be if you want to publish it to the Midjourney's explore section right over here. Download if you want to download the image, or if you would just want to hide the image, or if you want to open it up over in Discord. So you have these options here. Then you want to download it, or if you want to just like it, just send a heart. So those are some options over there. Now coming down in the bottom section, these are the similar things that we would have normally done in our settings panel, but now the best part about this is you can actually do it on an image to image section. This would normally happen if you were doing, I'm going to show an example here. Like if you're doing the same exact thing over here, then it's going to be after the fact, after the image is done, but it's going to be for all the images together. So you would have to have all the images together. But in Midjourney's website, you can see this is on a per image basis. So that's a really big thing. Now, if you do subtle, now the minute I click on subtle, it's starting to load immediately. Or if you want to do creative, it's going to create a new one. As you can see, as you click on these images, and then you can also pan up, pan down on the image, you can pan to the left, you can pan to the right, and you can also zoom 1x or zoom 2x, or you can change the custom aspect ratio. They've just made it a bit more intuitive. Now, if you want to rerun or if you want to vary the region, as in painting, that can also be done. And you can also add an image prompt. So a lot of different user interfaces have been added here. Now, if you want to just get out of here, you can just click on the cross, or if you want to just search something else within your prompts. You can also see for each of the different sections where the variations are coming from. So say for an example, while we already created this as an upscale, creative upscale for the first image, you can see that this is the original one. What do we mean by that? That this is the first prompt that created a variation of which we have made an upscale for this specific one. And even without going into the images per se, you can actually just hover over some of these things and you can see what are there. So you can remove the image. You can also, again, from here, you could do the same thing. So you can make it subtle or strong. Again, if you click here, it would immediately create a new one. So you can see the different changes that can be done here. Now, this is the create section, very robust and very, very in-depth with a lot of functionalities and features that Midjourney really wants us to look into and use in this alpha. And then you have archives. Archives are just the places where you could, as in yourself, organize folders. I'm going to get into that in another video, how you could organize your own folders for your own sake, for organization. But you can also see, if you've done quite a many, whether which images you've liked, which images are unrated, which images are hidden, which ones have a grid, or which ones are upscaled. So upscaled images are those, again, here, if we go back to the original Discord language of Midjourney, the U1, U2, U3, U4 are the upscales. So here, when we are talking about upscales, it's basically the ones that we have upscaled. And then you can also see it by the sizes. So if you want to get a specific size that you've already done, so you can go into portrait, you can see all the different portraits, or if you want to see by the different versions. So let's say if you've done version 1s, like these you can see I've done all the way in version 1, or if you want to see version 2, Midjourney still gives you access to go all the way from back to version 1 to version 6. So if you've done work from version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can actually see all of those consecutively. And the thing is, because it's a checkbox, you can add multiple versions together to see if you've done something, or if you want to again go back and if you want to redo something, which, coming to that, we are going to be seeing the next section is the published or unpublished. Now the unpublished section is where you've not published it for the explore, as I mentioned earlier, and the published would be some of them which were put to the explore page or which has been publicly posted. Now publicly posted prompts or images are also publicly accessible for anybody else to be able to use or tinker. So just keep that in mind. If you want to make a specific prompt that is just specific to your workflow, then you probably just want to keep it unpublished. But if you want something that you want to distribute to the community, then it is more encouraged that you put it in the published. And then you have the tiled or the raw. So you could do both together, and both together would be a different filter. As you can see, I don't have a specific one for this specific filter when I did both together, but if I did it separately, I have it separately. And then there are more options if there were not any more, which is just for the specific layout. You have a full square, or you have just square without the grid. Then you have it small, you have it large, you have it medium. I'm going to keep it to small. As you can see, it is way, way robust than we had before. And also, just in general, it looks really nice. The last thing that I want to talk about from this specific alpha website, Midjourney's, is the rate image. So we spoke about the Explore. We saw what Create could do. Pretty similar to Discord, but much more cleaner with a lot more user interactions and user sensibilities that Midjourney knows that we already do with our prompts. And we saw the archive where you can see your past images. If you don't want to scroll all the way down, you can just quickly go through here. The last section that we want, just in a different area, which is the rate images. Now, what Midjourney is asking is for us to always check for images. Now, just right at the get-go, we just select images that we think are going to be good. Now, in so doing, you can actually give Midjourney a training as to which image is good, and it is taking all the information from us as humans, and it is making the image processing softwares better. As you can see, while I'm talking to you, I'm also clicking and selecting specific images that I think are going to be nice. Again, art is subjective, so these kind of selections are just subjective. Upon a specific number of clicks or specific number of ratings, Midjourney does reward you with specific number of fast hours. So if you've expedited on your fast hours, which you normally get at $60, you get 30 hours of fast hours. you can do this and gain some fast hours for yourself. You might need to do a couple many more, but you can definitely do this and just keep clicking. There are some shortcut keys, so you could use 1, 2, and you could just do like that. So this is a good place to, one, see what other people are doing in the community, also get some ideas of what different prompts are there. And you can also see like what are some different like prompt styles and what are the different effects that can happen. So this is also a nice way to give back, get some information, and maybe in the bargain get a little bit of fast hour that you might have just lost a little bit and you're just scared that you might be burning out really fast. So you could get this from here. And yeah, wrapping it up, before I wrap it up, I just want to also highlight and just see all the different work that the community is doing as of now. You can see that the community has really varied ways of having styles from different genres, from paintings to photography styles. And again, if you go to a specific image, so let's just take this specific image over here. It has the same kind of a thing that we had in the create section. However, you can use the image prompt and you can use this a specific prompt. So if you want to make this into a prompt, if I click on the prompt right over here, it makes the entire prompt show up, including the dash dash. So then you can actually use this and re-roll it for yourself. Or you could, on top of this, you could just work up exactly how it's supposed to be. Now, the last section, now that we've done the exploring, I want to just add the one last thing, which is the image. So say for an example, I add an image to my prompt. Now I know we can do images in the past when we did in Discord over here. So if we did imagine, and then if we just add an image over here, that works in that way. But here, you could just click and you can drag an image over here, or you can take it from your image roll. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that ethereal heavenly. I'm just going to say this, and then again, we're going to go back over here and we're going to say that this is the stealth is on. We're going to now do as mode for standard instead of raw. And the stylization for this, I want to really crank it up. So I'm going to go 400. Weirdness is going to be 300 and the variety is going to be 0. So we're just playing it up a little bit. And because this original image was a square, so I'm going to go for square. And then I'm going to click on lock. So what that would do is it's going to focus on that specific image and give us something more with it. Again, the minute I click it, you think that nothing has happened, but actually you can see that the create is working on something with our image there. And you can see that the stylization has been 400 and the weird is 300 with the version 6. Now, because this is not a specific, this is not another variation, it is a new prompt. That's why there's no red line on there. I kind of like the accent that Midjourney is going with, the whole red as another accent tone. But you can see that because this is an original prompt, that's why it's showing up like that. Now, based on this specific image that I had, it is producing pretty nice details. Now, obviously, if you want more, you can again re-roll and you can do whatever. And again, you have an image URL, you have the text prompt. Now, if I click on the text prompt, and then if you copy it, it's just going to give me this because this was exactly the text prompt over here. We don't have anything else. And then you have the image prompt, and then you go here, it adds the image prompt back. So you could again re-engineer yourself if you want to re-roll the images, or if you want to just take the full prompt and if you just remove this whole thing and then click, now the whole prompt shows up. So this option will also give you the stylization which we did under the parameters. So that is just a quick overview of what Midjourney's alpha has to do. I know the last video that I uploaded as a shorts mentioned about 10,000 being the cap, but now with 1,000, a lot more people can access this amazing tool in Midjourney's website. Again, we can use Midjourney on Discord, and Midjourney again also said that we can access them in the Discord server for as long as they are going to have the service, but they also are going to be making this more accessible to everybody else. Do check out my Instagram, which is the non-fungible futurist, where I post a bunch of different AI images, and stick around on this channel to see more videos about Midjourney, ChatGPT, all things AI, because the AI for the future with creatives looks really interesting, and I hope to see you in the next video.